Welcome to the United States of Small Business, a podcast where the essence of American entrepreneurship is celebrated in every episode. With host John Quick at the helm, join us as we embark on a journey through the heart of the nation, uncovering the inspiring stories of small business owners from coast to coast. Experience the vibrant energy of bustling cities and the serene beauty of small towns, all while discovering how individuals are turning their entrepreneurial dreams into reality, even against the greatest odds. Each episode brings you face to face with the dreamers, creators, and doers who form the economic backbone of our country, all sharing their spirit of innovation and resilience. Whether you are in the early stages of sowing the seeds for your own business, scaling new heights in your current venture, or simply captivated by tales of grit and triumph, you are in the right place. Tune in on platforms like Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Pandora, and beyond. For deeper insights and to connect with the heart and soul of America's main streets, visit UnitedStatesOfSmallBusiness.com. Subscribe to United States of Small Business with host John Quick now and be inspired by the powerful stories of entrepreneurship, community, and the unwavering pursuit of the American dream. Begin your journey of inspiration with us today.
Welcome to the United States of Small Business podcast, where we spotlight the heartbeat of American ingenuity and grit. I'm John Quick, your host, your guide through the journeys of entrepreneurs transforming challenges into opportunities. Today, we're joined by Nick Barrett, the creative mind behind CordBrick, a venture that's revolutionizing cord management. Think iPhone cords. From personal trials to launching a product that's changing the game, Nick's story is a powerful blend of innovation, resilience, and philanthropy. Get ready for an inspiring conversation that takes us from the brink of adversity to the forefront of entrepreneur success. So let's dive in. Without further ado, Nick, welcome to the United States of Small Business podcast.
Thanks for having me. Great to be here.
Well, this will be fun. You got a pretty cool product, and I'm excited to talk about it. First, tell me, how the heck did you come up with this product, CordBrick? Walk me through that story.
Oh, man. Well, I actually remember it pretty well. I was laying in bed and my phone was buzzing and I grabbed it and my cord fell on the floor. And so, I responded to the message and then I had to get out of bed and flick my light on and move my nightstand around and pick it up. And I just thought, it'd be so much easier if I had a weighted silicone or rubber brick that I could just sit on my nightstand or desk and hold my cord. And so that was the initiation of the idea.
Nice. How long was that when you get into selling consumer?
Yeah, so that was in 2015. And I actually didn't really do anything. I pursued it just for a month or so. But I was attending FAU for my MBA at the time and was a little sidetracked. And then finally in 2020 was when I eventually decided to, pursue it and, go full bore on the creation of the device and selling it.
Nice. And does your product work with just phones or computers, or is it kind of any cord under the sun this could be a solution for?
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, I really intended it for phone cords. When I thought of the idea at the time, cord management has been around as a field and, products in that category for quite a long time. So, there are some products that do, cord management for travel. There's little adhesive things that you can stick on different surfaces. But what's unique about CordBrick is it's the first product that does cord holding and cord wrapping. So it's kind of a brick shape, and then it's got 6 channels on it. And it's got a piece of steel inside, so it's a little heavier than you would think when you pick it up. So it can hold the ends of mainly phone chargers and small device chargers, like ones for your tablet, watch, AirPods, other earbuds, other Bluetooth devices. Some laptop chargers, depends on, some of those laptops have big, heavy batteries in the middle of the cord, so it can't necessarily hold that thing up in the air, but it can kind of keep the cord ends all together and organized for you on a nightstand, on a desk. And then the added ability of being able to, what I say, snap, wrap, trap, and unwrap your cord. It has these different end channels. And so you're able to snap several into each end channel and then wrap them around the brick, bring it with you, and then unwrap untangled when you get there. What's cool about the little end jaws too is you can kind of grab the corner of your phone and stand that too. So it ends up being like a little multi-tool and kind of useful for not only your phone cords, but also your phone as well.
That's pretty awesome. So, today's day and age, people, it's pretty easy to start, like, let's say a sweatshirt business or a t-shirt business, because there's a, 5 dozen different on-demand folks like that will print them for you. This is a little different. You probably had to get a prototype and kind of work with somebody to help engineer it. Talk to me a little bit about that process.
Yeah, I could talk about that for a long time. The first year was kind of figuring out that whole thing. Like, how do you make a product? How do you go from the conception to your first prototype to mass production? Because with this, one of the reasons I decided to do this business was because I thought, okay, what's involved in this product? Am I building a car? No. Am I building a rocket ship? No. A piece of software that's very complicated and is going to take, technical programming? No. This is a piece of silicone with steel inside. It's a brick. It's a very small item. So I thought, okay, it's going to be pretty inexpensive to make. And I was actually able to make one right away from modeling clay at Michael's. They have a base and a catalyst, and you take them out and you mix them together and you form it into the shape you want. And after 20 minutes, it solidifies into that shape. So it gave me pretty close to the flex and feel I wanted from the material. And I ended up adding some weight to the final version to make it even denser and heavier. But yeah, that took me about a year to figure out from beginning to end. And then actually we're on version 3 of the product now. So since then we've made some more kind of fine tuning improvements and found different manufacturing and got costs lower. And Elon Musk recently talked about how manufacturing is very underrated. It's extremely difficult. People don't understand all the things that, and we're just building a very small, simple product here. So I absolutely understand what he's talking about there.
Yeah. So I heard that your product made it on the Today Show. Was that true? Tell me about that story.
Yeah, it did. It was super cool. We had some media appearances and been featured in newspapers and other things, but I was able to get on the Today Show as a stocking stuffer. Stocking stuffer was my #1 keyword selling on Amazon the previous year, and so I reached out to a bunch of gift guides and people that bring products to show that might be interested to the masses. And this one really applies to a lot of people. It's for phone cords, which everybody has a phone cord, and it kind of does some unique stuff for that. And so it really applied as a stocking stuffer at that price point that makes it so people can buy not just one but several for a number of different folks in their family. And that was basically how we worked our way into the Today Show. And then we had a incredible sales result just from a less than 60-second appearance on that show. So that's just one of several of the big things that's happened for us in the last year or so.
That made for an exciting Christmas for you, I bet.
It was great.
So what are some of the lessons you've learned along the way with this? I'm sure there's lots and lots, but what are some of the highlighted lessons you've learned?
Yeah. So recently our first knockoff appeared, and this is year 4. So, I knew that would pretty much happen at some point or another. Someone made a much, it's actually a non-weighted version. So the consumer might be confused who buys that version. It's much, it's lower cost, lower quality. In fact, what's funny about it is, don't let them hear this, but they don't even know how the product works. So it's funny in the pictures that they've got for it, they're using it wrong.
That's amazing.
I always say to other entrepreneurs and other people that are thinking about an idea, like, don't worry about people stealing your idea, because like it's in your head. It's your idea. It's your vision. You have the vision of how it should work and what the problem is. And even though you can make it pretty obvious to people with the product that you make, it's not always completely obvious all the thought that went into it. And so I think only someone who makes it and is marketing it and selling it and talking to the customers all the time can really have a good feel about what they're making. So that's one thing I would tell people is don't be afraid of sharing your idea, and then don't worry about knockoffs coming along, because they'll have to do something different than you and have a different competitive advantage to their product or service, or beat you on cost or something like that. So there's a number of other lessons I could go into, though. I mean, it's a learning journey the whole way.
Yeah. Well, I bet your knockoff didn't have a chance to meet one of the Shark Tank people. Tell me what it was like to meet Daymond from Shark Tank.
Oh yeah, I was at a trade show in January. It's a promotional products trade show because my product makes a great logo. We have branded giveaway, goes on people's nightstands and desks. And anyways, Daymond John's just walking by, and I recognized him immediately. I'm a big fan of Shark Tank, being an entrepreneur. And I said, Daymond, what's up? And he said, hey man. And he just reacted right away. And I said, can I get a picture? It was the first thing I thought of. And so during the picture, I'm like, I'm whispering in his ear. And so the pictures aren't that great, but I'm like, hey, you got to come check out my product, right here. And he's like, okay, what do you got? And so I start to show him, and he goes, wait, stop. And I thought, oh no, did I do something wrong? And he said, hold on. So he takes his phone out of his pocket and he goes, can you do that again? I'm going to film you. So he filmed me,
Nice.
pitching the product. It seemed to impress him. And so for someone on Shark Tank who's seen, I don't know, thousands of pitches like this, I thought it was pretty cool that he felt like he needed to film it.
That's pretty awesome. So do you have any future plans for different products down the road, or is this kind of what you're going to stick to for a while?
Yeah, so I'd like to build a brand, and the goal is brand acquisition. Be acquired by another company that sells a combination of electronics accessories or phone accessories or something like that. That's the exit strategy for this business. And so I just recently launched a larger version of CordBrick. It's called Desk Brick, and it's similar but different. It's 2.5 times heavier, so it's much more substantial in terms of weight. And then it's got what I call corner pockets. And so whereas with CordBrick, you've got to kind of flip the whole product on one end to stand a phone, with the Desk Brick, you can just kind of slide a phone in its normal position. It can also hold like highlighters and little USB sticks and stuff. So it's just a kind of a desk organizer. And again, much heavier, and several more cords can fit in there. So we've got that, and we've got a couple more things coming, different than cord management. But that's certainly where we're at right now.
Nice. So who's somebody who you've kind of looked up to along the way? I'm sure that you've needed inspiration along the way. Who's been somebody in your corner that's kind of been inspiring to you?
Yeah, one thing I definitely have done is ask a lot of questions to people. I've reached out to hundreds of different people that I have already known to then barely know or don't know at all, and just cold called and said, hey, I think you might be able to help me. Here's who I am. Can you tell me anything about X, Y, or Z? I recently joined a networking group that's called Board of Advisors, and it's a bunch of entrepreneurs sharing wisdom with each other. And so I found that people who've been there before have been the best advisors for me, and particularly people who have launched businesses recently, because times change, and someone who has recent advice to give you, it's definitely going to be more relevant to your situation than someone who has done it a long time ago. Although there's no doubt that certain business wisdom, lives on and on. In terms of a particular person, I've got a mentor that I got through SCORE. His name is Torben. He has been just like a brother to me, and older brother, uncle, father figure. And my dad has supported me along the way, so he's always been a great example in my life, and I'm very fortunate for that. But yeah, there's been a number of other people as well.
That's awesome. So somebody's going to listen to this and think, man, this is an awesome story. Maybe they want to start their own business. What kind of advice would you give somebody that's aspiring to maybe start their own business like you have done?
Yeah, the first thing is get going, start doing it. There's really no substitute for beginning that research and looking into the things that you don't know. So it's gonna pretty quickly, when you start to build any kind of product or service or business of any kind, you're going to come up against roadblocks that you're going to have to learn something about or solve. I would recommend just get going. There's nothing that teaches you better than failure, and you're just going to come up against tons and tons of roadblocks, knowledge you don't have, costs you didn't expect, things like that. I mean, I think probably one of the biggest failures of most startups and I don't think anybody disputes this, is they vastly underestimate how much cash they need. So they have to go into debt, 2, 3, 4 times as much as they thought they were going to have to.
Yeah, there's a lot of unthought about hurdles that go into starting your own business, is my guess. So, where can people find your product? People are going to be interested to check it out. Are you on social media? Give us the website. Give us all those details.
Yeah, of course. You can find CordBrick on CordBrick.com. And you can find our new product, DeskBrick, on CordBrick.com as well. Find us on Amazon, and then on all the social media sites, just at CordBrick, CordBrick. My name's Nick. You can email me, nick@cordbrick.com. And that's it. Yeah, please reach out especially if you're an entrepreneur, or someone that's taking the entrepreneurial path. I'd love to hear from you.
Nice. Well, Nick, 15, 20 minutes has gone by in a flash here. Do you have any last minute thoughts before we head off? The floor is yours.
So I guess I would just like to mention that we would appreciate anyone's support for our Build Something mission. We're about to do a fundraiser that I do every year, and I've been sober for 7 years from alcohol, and one of the things that helped get me there was a place to live where no one in the house was drinking, and so many people end up going to sober homes. And so what we do is we donate a portion of every brick that we sell to right now this 501c3 here in Naples called St. Matthew's House, and they manage and housing, and then people coming off the streets, coming in for recovery, people dealing with homelessness, and help them with the program and get back on their feet. And so they they need to pay for this housing and manage it, obviously. So we donate to that cause, and then as part of the Build Something mission as well, I am dedicated to mentoring young entrepreneurs. Anybody who's got a product, especially somewhere where I can help them, I'm more than happy to offer as much time as necessary to connect you with whoever could help you, and just provide any experience or wisdom that I might have that I think could benefit you. So please reach out.
Awesome. Well, we'll put those links in the podcast description for folks curious to go check that out. And we'll put all the links to your product and all that kind of stuff in there as well. Nick, we wish you nothing but success here from the United States of Small Business podcast. We hope everybody that's listening or watching has a phenomenal rest of the week. Until next time, I'm John Quick from the United States of Small Business podcast. Nick, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks, John.